Okay, yesterday afternoon, Shannon had to go do some stuff with Herbie, so we had the gas tank in. We got the gas tank in, got it fitted to the floor. Around here, it fits really good, and it's very tight all up in here. But if someone wanted to put one of these tanks in a Valiant or a Lancer, do not do it like I did it. I made a mistake. We finished the floor in the car, undercoated, leather skinned it, inside, put the peel and stick in it, put the carpet in it. Mistake. If we had put the tank in and cut the floor to clear the tank, the job would have been 10 times easier, a lot easier. But we already had the floor carpeted and everything, so I wasn't going to tear it all back apart. And so we wound up cutting big hunks out of the tank so they would clear up in here where it was hitting the, I'm sorry, back here, where it's hitting the hump where your spare tire goes. So we got the tank in. We had to move the strap because this is a 63 Valiant Dart tank. They only made Lancers in 61 and 62. And nobody makes anything for them because they only made it for 2 years. So we got the rear end, we took it all apart. We powder coated the rear end housing and took the bearings, everything out, new brakes, everything new, wheel cylinders. Now all this has been glass beaded and powder coated, the hardware, to put it all in. So yesterday, I got the bright idea, Shannon was gone, I was gonna put the rear end in. So the easiest way to do that is put your springs in right here up front, let them hang down. Set the rear end on the transmission jack and jack it up. And then pick your spring up and put it in these shackles. There was only one problem. You see this bracket right here? Well, guess what? You can't put this bushing in if you put that bracket on the frame first. So then I had to let the spring back down, take the bracket off, and put the bushing in from the inside, and then put it all back up and put it together. But everything fits, you know, it fits really good now. The U-bolts, this thing only has 7/16 U-bolts in it, which is unusual because everything after this has 1/2-inch U-bolts. Well, just to be safe, I looked into the service manual and looked up the torque. It said 50 pounds. There is no way you're going to put 50 pounds on them 7/16 U-bolts. I got to 40, and I snuck up to 45, and I quit because I could tell we were stretching the threads. The worst thing people do, they grab an impact wrench and hammer them U-bolts in there. U-bolts are not supposed to be tightened to that kind of tightness because all you're doing is stretching the U-bolt and killing the housing, and that's why they make that service manual with all them torque specs in it. Use the torque specs. Now, the next thing we're going to have to do, I sort of looked at it yesterday, is where the shocks go here. Let me get one, I'll show you. The shock is going to be a problem because it goes right there and it goes on there. See how close it is? So what we're going to have to do is make a spacer up here, and we probably have to bend that lip up a little bit right there. Very little stuff that you just take out of the box and it fits. I mean, this car was built 60 years ago, and longer than that, 65 years ago. But it's just a challenge. We're going to remake all the lines. I got some of my front brake lines up here. Wait a minute, I bent this one yesterday. I'm a nut about brake lines. It goes up here, in there, under there, over this, and it'll go into there. But when I get through, I'll have armor on it. Now I've got a couple of them up here I can show you. The car's got an adjustable proportion valve on it right here. It comes with that CCP electric brake unit, and I made those lines up there. And that little bracket, let me get this out of your way. This little bracket right here is a company called Made For You. They have some of the nicest brackets for lines and stuff like that. Come over here, I'll show you. the lady that owned the company, I got to be good friends with her because I was buying a lot. And she told me she was going to have to quit because she was old like me. So I ordered me a few pieces of it. And then a low-car bought the company, and they have it now. And this stuff is great because you can put your lines, you can mount your heater hoses in a little bracket where they stay in place, and they got all kinds of stuff. I'll have the brake lines all mounted to the car and everything, show it to you next time we do something next week. But that's kind of where we are today, and it's coming along. We're just, you know, I'm a nut about doing stuff. When I'm making brake lines, I take some aluminum heliarc rod and I'll start bending it. And I bent this and I'll straighten it back out. But what that turned into was this. If you make a mistake with that little piece of aluminum rod, you haven't thrown away a $10 piece of brake line or whatever they cost nowadays. They don't tell him what they cost. I'm scared he may ask. But I'm starting with this one on the other side, and this will go in here, the brake line will come down, go under that, then it'll go over the top, and I'll finish fitting it. And I'll make it with this piece of aluminum welding rod because I can bend it, straighten it, and bend it back or whatever. And then you just bend your brake line so you don't waste a piece of brake line. And it really saves time because you can bend this with your fingers. I use a bender. Where's my bender? I don't even know what I did with it. I've set it down somewhere. I'll find it. So that's the best bender I've ever bought, and I've got a half dozen different ones, and I've had this thing for 30 years or more. I think it says Imperial on it. That's what's wrong. It's an Imperial bender. But we use this to bend the brake lines, and I'll get them all fitted. And then that way you bend it with this, and then you make a real brake line out of it. And what we do is I put one end on them, and then we powder coat the brake lines silver so they never rust. And then I'll put the shield on them on the rear end, especially like this. This is going on the front end. So I'll put the shield anywhere that it can contact a rock or something that might fly up and hit it or whatever. You don't want a brake line mashed. That's a bad, bad deal. But we'll have them all on here and it'll be nice. I'm a nut about brake lines and gas lines, and they've got to fit and they have to be anchored properly. Zip ties are not the way to do it. It's going to be the nicest one of them 4 or 5 Lancers in the country. That's about how many there are. I think I've seen about 6. And 3 or 4 of them were back to the 50s. That's what got us into looking for this thing. We saw them at back to the 50s. And you see a lot of Valiants, but you don't see the Lancer. That was a Dodge version. So that's where we are.